Well, you guys, I got a ton of footage that I don't even think I'm going to be able to use. I took a motorcycle ride today and had nothing but problems with that too, but... Well, in the first clip there, if you go back and watch it, I was going to cut it out. I sharded, you guys. I ate a bunch of tacos, hot sauce, and jalapenos, and I probably shouldn't even get into it, and I was going to cut it out, and I just laughed, and I was looking around like, oh, boy. And I sharded. Anyway, the gods of Montgomery Ward want me to put this motor back together. That's all I can tell you. I drained the oil and decided if there's a bunch of water in this oil, I'm done with it. And there isn't. And I came up with a solution to my big problem. Oh, shit. I'm going the wrong way. There's no need to get crazy with the oil either, because I'll probably be doing this again. So I'm just going to get crazy with it then, guys. I forgot to put the bucket over the side and everything. Whatever. Yeah, no need to get crazy, guys, but I got oil everywhere. I was supposed to pull this down. That's okay, you guys. I don't care. This house has stunk like gasoline for the last week from down here, from running this motor. I've had the motor run consistently fine, but the needle valves are shaking, and here in a second, you're going to get the other clip when I cut it in to how I finally fixed the problem. If I had any idea how much work I was going to give myself to put into this old motor for no real damn reason, you guys, I don't think I ever would have took it on. No way. I would have called it quits and said throw it in the trash, you guys. And I'm learning life lessons. But I did learn something new today that I taught myself. And you're going to see it. And it made this whole experience worth it. The old Montgomery Ward, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's going to get killed down here. Going for the bathroom right there. They're going to hit an oil spot or something. My daddy's always here. I should have a camera set up right here. Can you see in there, you guys? That's rubber. Somebody tried to add rubbers in there. Little, and this is on the one I took off of it. To seal the adjustment screw valves. They used rubber and they broke down and started clogging up the carburetor. And so did the float. But on this carburetor that I got on here is when it came with the original pieces, which was actually cork, which actually ended up worse, mind you. Except for cork seems to work its way out of the system, which I've kind of noticed because I've been running it, you know. And if pieces of cork break off, they tend to actually find their way out of the carburetor. But the rubber doesn't. That's been the solid problem on this engine. I finally figured out what the main source of all the fucking problem is. You always get this thing running and you could just start it and gun it and get where you got to go and shut it off. Okay? You could do that. But I want it to run like it did from the factory. I want to be able to pull start it nice and easy, a couple pulls, have it all tuned and dialed in, and I think that's where we're going with it. All right, so I watched the guy and... because I'm like, what in the hell? I can't get it to idle right. I can get it to run. And I was going to give up on it. But as you see before this, I tested to see if there's water in the oil, and there's not. Or I would have just called it, right? Well, I came up with a fabulous idea while I was sleeping, right? I'm like, what if I use Teflon tape on these treads? Because this used to have cork, guys, okay? Here's the problem. These used to be seated in cork inserts, you guys. Cork, wood. And they'd be screwed through and the cork would be right here, holding this super tight and steady against vibrations. And the problem I'm having is these needles kept shaking themselves loose and changing position because nobody's got the cork inserts, right? I'm like, what am I going to do? I was sleeping on it, you know? And I thought, Teflon tape made for gas valves. I can wrap this up in Teflon tape and get it nice and tight in there, you know? It's an inert material that has gasoline should have no effect on, believe it or not. Isn't that something? You got to see the treads or it'll never screw in, but Teflon tape. Let's see if I can't get this to tread in there real tight. And these adjust your oxygen mixture in your high and low, so idle speed or when you're pulling on the gas. And I've had nothing but problems, and I was ready to give up, right? And I just had the most spontaneous idea. How can I fix this? Teflon tape. It's impervious to gas. Gas won't touch it, won't dissolve it, nothing. I wrapped it around here nice and tight, right? Because this motor naturally has a shake and it naturally has a vibration, and it keeps vibrating this loose. And these used to have an insert that went right into here to hold this valve tight so it wouldn't move around and change your adjustment. Check out how nice and smooth how this fits. Look at this. This was bouncing around before, okay? Look how tight she is now. That's exactly what I needed, you guys. That's going to make a whole world of difference, because it was almost impossible to get this thing at a low idle speed. I could have it right here, but I had to have a little bit of gas on it. I want to have a motor that runs right, or I'm not going to do it at all. That's how I am. You can see how hard it is to turn this in. You got to be careful. I don't want to mess up the needle valve or nothing, but look at how tight she's turning, you guys. And I know it's supposed to stick straight up when I get there, so. This is my second time doing it. I want it tight. I just tested the theory, and now I want it tight, you guys. And you can see. I want it tight. Look at that. Bang. Tight. Now when I make that one turn, look at this, how tight it is. Before it was just shimmying and shaking. Now she's in there tight. That's going to work. That's something to learn from this video, you guys. That is very serious. If you're going to get in mechanics, this is something I just taught myself. Just learned from a lot of critical thinking. I went to bed last night ready to throw this goddamn thing right in the trash, okay? Because without setting your idle speed properly, without setting these needles on your high and low, you might as well just throw the engine in the trash. And you can't use cork. They were using cork, and that's the reason that it all went to shit in the first place. You have to be able to set your high and low or screws, or you're never, ever going to have this thing run right. So now, I got no oil in the, no water in the oil. It looked like at first I did, but then I put some next to it, and they both got the exact same color. So it's looking like I'm going to have this thing running after all. Lot of work, though. A lot of work. It took a lot of work, and I pooped in my pants on top of it now. But I probably got 3 hours of labor into it already just in that carburetor swap. But I'm moving in the right direction.